Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
It is game week. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is game week, ladies and gentlemen. College football playoff. First round. Tennessee, Ohio State. Ben McKee, GovVols 247. I'm Jason Swain. Swain Events, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Our telephone number is 865-255-03. I'm live from the Low T Center studio. Ben McKee. It's game week, my man.
It is. It is game week. It is game week. My house has come down with the flu, so
Let's go.
it is.
McKees. Did y'all know it was game week?
Well, at least it's the beginning of the week, and it is game week. I'd rather power through this week than a week from today. It's Christmas Eve, so I'd rather it hit us the beginning of this week than next week for Christmas. We've been going through it the last 24, 36 hours. So apologies. My voice actually sounds better than I anticipated. So that's a good thing, but apologies if you can tell I'm under the weather.
But we're going to roll, man. We're going to roll. We're going to roll. We got your back. The family got your back. We on the text box this morning, the Beatty Chevrolet text box. We are rolling. Let's get it. First, this is not to play victim here, but I think it's worth noting that the officiating crew that Tennessee is going to have versus Ohio State has a history of not being their best. It's the same officiating crew from the Purdue Mute City Bowl. It's also the same crew that was suspended when they called the Miami-Duke game, where they had that crazy ending a couple years ago. This head official has had better days in the last couple of years. But I mention him because I think it's important not to, again, start playing victim about how calls are going up against us. But I think it's important to mention because of the style of play. And when we play in the SEC, you have pretty much the same officiating crew, and they know you. They know what you want to do. They know that you want to run up-tempo. They spot the ball quickly for you. You know them on a first-name basis for the most part. Like, the crew is used to officiating your games. Remember 2 years ago when Tennessee played in the Orange Bowl, Josh Heupel, and I was right there watching him. He was livid in the first quarter because we had a Big Ten officiating crew when we played Clemson. And the ball was being spotted extremely slow. It was slowing down Tennessee's tempo versus Clemson. Josh Heupel picks up a 50-yard penalty. But that is, I think, important to note because you have an officiating crew that you don't see week in and week out. Ohio State, they don't play against the tempo week in and week out. Now, we haven't necessarily had to rely on the tempo, but just something to put in your back pocket. That's all. A lot of optimism, Ben McKee, I think, from Tennessee fans. The ticket prices are going down, which means Tennessee fans are like, hold on now. Oh, we gonna get those tickets. I saw a tweet from my man Trey Wallace, who reached out to one of the ticket companies, and Tennessee has bought more tickets, according to that ticket company, than Ohio State fans. Small percentage difference, but Tennessee has bought more. And so we may be looking at a Tennessee-Oklahoma game, Ben, where Tennessee made a huge presence there in Norman. There's videos flying around where Tennessee fans can be heard singing Rocky Top. Tennessee 2 years ago at LSU, 30,000 people, give or take, took over that stadium. And so there's a belief level that is extremely high right now amongst the fan base. And we were at Dick's Sporting Goods yesterday for remote there on Josh and Swain, and there were so many people that came by that were buying cold weather gear for the trip to Columbus. So, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh,
cold weather gear is sold in Knoxville?
I mean,
why would Knoxville sell cold weather gear if it never gets cold here?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a store next to all the palm trees and stuff. I think it's over there off I-40. Get off the Lovell Road exit. I think, over there where the palm trees are.
To your point, you obviously interact with more fans in person because of the nature of your daily show. But I swear every time I get on social media, I see somebody tweeting about how they just got tickets and how they're ready to get up and head north to Columbus. It's really not that bad of a drive. I made the drive 2019, the Admiral Grant final year when they played Colgate and then Iowa. That was in Columbus at the Columbus Blue Jackets Arena. And it's a very easy drive. It's about 5 hours from North Knoxville, Northeast Knoxville. I mean, you just go up to Lexington, over to Cincinnati, and then right on up. It's a very easy drive. So, and Ohio State fans, it's pretty crazy. Like, I understand them being disappointed in Ryan Day. I do. But to not care about a college football playoff game blows my mind. To care more about beating Michigan than winning a national championship also blows my mind. I mean, as a Tennessee person, you don't ever want to lose to Alabama, but I think how many would raise their hand right now and sign on the dotted line to lose to Alabama for the next 5 years if it meant you won a national championship in the next 5 years or 2 national championships in the next 5 years? I think a lot of people would sign on the dotted line. Would you?
Yep.
I know 5 straight Alabama losses is a lot, but it's a national championship. Like, that's significant. And Tennessee Alabama is one of the most underrated rivalries in the sport, in college athletics, in all of sports. So their mindset and temperament has kind of blown me away since the game was announced last Sunday, and just the lack of interest, really. I mean, it's almost like they're going and participating in the playoffs because they have to, not because they want to. I mean, I really think they'd rather see Ryan Day get fired than play in this football game, which just baffles my mind. So we talked a little bit about it last week. If Tennessee can jump on Ohio State early, I think that team folds mentally. I think Ryan Day folds mentally, and I think the fan base folds mentally as well, especially if there's Tennessee fans in the building, the way it seems there are going to be, and rub it in their face a little bit. I could see them folding if Tennessee can show up and have a strong start to the football game.
I mean, the fan base seems to be apathetic on Ron Day, but that doesn't mean that the team won't come out and play with a sense of urgency. I mean, I don't know what's being said in between those 4 walls there in their complex. They may use it as a motivation. Hey, man, I remember when Conzo Martin, that basketball team, it was them against the world because Dave Hart did not support Conzo Martin, did not back him, and they took a me versus everybody, including our own fans, and they went out and made a run in NCAA tournament. So, I mean, they could, Ben, fold and be affected. I mean, how many times have they been, down this year early? So I mean, they could because they're not used to that. But I would be surprised if they do. I think they're going to use all the criticism as motivation. Rondé is going to play victim with his players. That's the best way to create that motivation and sense of urgency inside that building. I'm expecting Ohio State's best. I'm expecting them to come out and play better than they played against Michigan. We gotta force them to play like they played against Michigan. And I think it's going to be a 60-minute football game. I really do. Our fans, they're going to make it tough on Ohio State fans, man. They're going to make it tough on them, man. Oh, boy. We're going to show up. We're going to be loud in the pregame. I mean, we got folks calling into the show yesterday talking about Touch Tunes app where it's a digital jukebox where you can buy credits, and there's bars around Columbus that use touch tunes, and we had someone call in and say, "Hey man, I'm gonna play Rocky Top every day, every bar in Columbus. I'm gonna use this app. I'm gonna buy credits just to be petty, and I'm going to play Rocky Top all over Columbus, Ohio this week." Dude, our fans are ready. Ben McKee. Let's talk.
How many videos?
Huh?
How many videos do we see of Tennessee fans fighting Ohio State fans?
I hope none.
Because people from Ohio are rude. They're mean. You ever heard anybody say they're going on vacation to Cleveland
No.
or Cincinnati? Nobody cares about the Bengals. Nobody cares about the Browns.
No.
They're all a bunch of mean people. They do nasty things. A lot of nasty business goes on inside the walls of the state of Ohio.
Stop. One thing they do that's nasty is eat that damn chili. All right, let's get to the phones. Good morning.
They ain't nastier than this MF right here coming all the way from West Tennessee, boys. I'll tell you that right now.
My man Buck Nasty.
I don't know what in the world they cooking down there, son, but I'm hungry. I've been waiting to eat at this dinner table since 1998, son.
Let's hear Buck Nasty.
Hey, looky here, kiddos. Looky here, for all you youngsters out there listening. When I was just a wee little nasty, and I was running around, hanging out with my mom and pop and going getting beer from my dad, watching the football games on Saturday, son. That's all we done was watch Tennessee football. And when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, you'd wake up on Saturday morning and you'd say, "Papa, who we playing today?" He'd say, "It don't matter because we're going to beat the hell out of them anyway." And that's the way we are now. And since 1998, my fat redneck ass has been waiting on this moment to get back to this statue where we going to play for the playoffs again. Son, I'm telling you, if there's any chance at all for you young Tennessee fans that's sitting out there hanging out in Knoxville, and you're sitting there taking this for granted, don't you go in there and you steal a little money out of your mama's purse. You go in there, you rob your granny if you got to. You do whatever you got to do to get your orange-loving ass down to Ohio State or up to Ohio State, ever how you want to see it. I'm looking down on them myself because we're going in there and we're going to whip her ass. We're going to take over 20 years of dysfunction out on them, and we're going to make them like it in there. I know that they got a coach named Ryan Day that everybody seems to be high on, but it's going to look a lot like night when Nasty enters the shoe. Let's see you, boys.
But that's the question for you. Are you going to the
Oh,
game?
lay it on me. Yes, I'm going to the game.
I just want to make sure. Are you bringing?
Yeah, me and Miss Nasty, we're going to be sitting kind of in the corner
Okay.
up there. We'll be the drunk rednecks in the camouflage. You know, the stuff we got from the Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah. You got to wear some orange though, right? A little bit of orange.
I got an orange Tennessee hat it's a Santa Claus hat that's orange. Yeah, I'll have that.
Oh,
I'll
cool.
have that a pro along. Yes, sir.
Cool. Okay. Hey, I hope I see you, man. I hope I see you. I want to give you a big old hug.
Oh, I'm going to see you, dog. I'm going to be at a lot of bars. I'm going to be being warm, you know, smuggling in the juice, the goat juice, some of Grandpappy's finest, that of 150 proof. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, I got you. I got you, Buck Nasty.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy yourselves.
Hey, thank you. Good to hear from you, Buck Nasty. Let's keep it moving. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up, Turkey Man? Good luck
Hey, bud.
following that up.
Hey, I ain't even gonna try. I just been enjoying the fans like Buck Nasty. You see on Twitter and YouTube and all that they're got diagrams carrying the goalpost into the Ohio Calusi River, whatever it is, and planting fire teas and instilling secret plans and just what is a Vol, and then I've seen the Vol fan, the Ohio State fan, the little boy was needing help, and all the volunteers are helping him get to the game and helping his family out, and that puts what we really are. You know,
That's what we do. Yep.
That's what we do, and I think when it's all said and done, they're gonna know what not only a volunteer is, but understand what a volunteer fan is, and I think the world needs to know that because we're different. We are different, more ways than one. Anyhow, enjoy your show, and I love to hear Buck Nasty. Sometimes I have to kind of take a word or two out, but hey, gosh darn it, he's good, ain't he?
That's right,
We'll
Turkey
see,
Man.
guys.
All right, my man. Thank you. 865-255-03.
Now, wait a minute. All these messages here on the text box. I mean, since we started the show, we got about 15, 20 messages within the last 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And Nelson from Jackson over here asking about basketball when if I break up non-football, he's ready to vote me off the island. And here he is on the Tuesday before playing the college football playoff game asking about Jemai Meshack. Nelson, are you sick as well? Do you also have the flu that I have? Are you okay? Do you need to go to the doctor? I'm concerned about you. This is very unlike you, Nelson. Although the basketball team obviously deserves conversation. What a win on Saturday night. Thrilling win. I'll quickly answer his question, Swain, and we can get back to football. He asked about Jemai turning down those open shots and Illinois deciding to sag off of him as a result. I do think at some point he's going to have to start taking those shots so he doesn't continue to get the Tony Allen and the Draymond Green treatment. That is not good for the offense when somebody can sag all the way back and clog the lane. He's capable of making them. He needs to step up and make them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we heard that he made more shots than anybody else during the summer. I was given a cake, all that good stuff. And, it's noticeable that he's passed up open shots. And the fact that they're sagging off of him the way they did, that's disrespectful. So it's time for him to start, shooting those open shots, and hopefully he's shooting it with the same confidence he did during the summer, and he was able to make as many as he did. 865-255-03.
Now, this is a cool message from DSG Vol. He says, let's go with 4 exclamation points marks. He says he's listening from, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of that, I assume city, but he's listening from Tanzania, and he's going to be up at 4 a.m. watching the Vols kick some OSUASS on Saturday. That's pretty cool right there.
I love it. All right, let's take a quick timeout. 865-255-03. That's our telephone number. Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. I'm Jason Swain, live from the Low T Center studio. Stay with us. Be right back.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Good morning, Swain Event family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. Thank goodness it's football time in Tennessee. When the Vols do well, Knoxville does too. There are so many great reasons to fall in love with East Tennessee, and if you're making a move to the area, I'd love to help you find your new home. Just give me a call at 865-694-5904 or check out my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com and go Vols.
Fellas, there's a lot of people talking about testosterone, but do your homework and go to a provider that you can trust. I recommend Low T Center. It's where I get my levels checked. At Low T Center, they make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and you'll get your results back in about 25 minutes. If you've been feeling tired, grumpy, have noticed weight gain, loss of muscle mass, you may have low T levels. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Chevy truck season at Beatty Chevrolet means save on a new 24 Chevy Silverado 1500. Now $10,000 off MSRP. Plus 1.9% APR financing. Plus no payments for 90 days at Beatty Chevrolet in Knoxville.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
The first round of playoffs, folks. It don't matter what you got going on. It's the first round of playoffs. It's go time. Buck Nasty said it. I don't know about taking money from your mama's purse. That's a good idea to get up to the game, but I do understand what he's saying there. Like it's this is Tennessee in the college football playoffs, y'all. This team had an opportunity to do this with this program, had an opportunity 2 years ago and was on the outside looking in. And there's conversations about missing a golden opportunity with that football team, a once-in-a-lifetime type of offense, and man, we missed it. Well, 2 short years, we're in the same position with a team that is probably more built to go win it because you have a defense, you have a running game. Now, we know the passing game needs to be serviceable. The passing game needs to generate some explosive plays. Needs to do that. I think Tennessee has gotten better each and every week in the month of December and November, excuse me. You've had plenty of time for guys to get healthy, Ben. You got several players in the portal that will be missed on special teams. I don't care how you slice it, how you try to downplay it. That affects Tennessee probably more than Ohio State, that there are some fringe, I won't say fringe starters, but rotational players that find themselves on special teams that could help in this football game. They're not going to be available. Yeah, that's going to affect you. So how does that tweak the game plan for Coach Eckler? Since this staff has been here, we haven't really returned a ton of kickoffs because of the depth. It's just not worth it. We'll take the fair catch, take the ball to the 25-yard line. And so do you see more of that on Saturday? I would be surprised if we're returning kickoffs with how many guys out from those special teams units. How will that affect our special teams units? So that's gonna. Sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
Kickoff is different. I acknowledge that. I would like to see Boo Carter with the football in his hands, especially on punt return. If there is a play that allows you to set up the return and return it, don't be too eager to return a punt and cost your team. But like on a kickoff, especially if the offense is sputtering against a good Ohio State defense, then if the opportunity presents itself, I would be okay with Boo Carter returning the kickoff. But I totally understand and recognize what you're saying. I just do view when your offense is struggling a bit, I mean, that could be an explosive play, and Boo Carter is explosive with the football in his hands. Again, it's not being dumb if Ohio State lays down a perfect kickoff and pins you right next to the goal line, then maybe not return that one. But if you feel like you can get a nice return off, I would be all for it with Boo having the football in his hands.
Yeah, I don't remember Boo even being on kickoff return.
I would imagine he is now going to be the kickoff returner with Cam Seldon gone.
Yeah, I mean Mike Matthews returned it when Cam Seldon was out with the injury. So yeah,
maybe
I
put Jamal
guess
McCoy back there. Maybe Jamal McCoy, because you know that he's going to catch the football.
I'm not putting McCoy back there on kickoff return.
Well, if you're just going to have him fair catch it, and you're just putting him back there just to make sure it gets caught and nothing silly happens, and he's not going to put his body in position to get hurt by returning it. That was my thought, was just him simply catching it and calling a fair catch.
Yeah. I don't know who they're going to put back there, but I would be surprised if we're really aggressive on kickoff return. And even with the struggling offense, it's better to be at the 25-yard line than to be at the 18-yard line or the 10-yard line. And although we are in year 4, the depth has improved from last year this year, but it's a reason why we take fair catches the way we do. With all those guys hitting the portal, those are really good players that were on punt return teams, that were on those units, kickoff coverage. And so how many starters do we see fill in? You know, when I played, we had a ton of dudes who started that were still on those units. You know, Meacham was a gunner. Jason Allen was out there. Omar Gaither was out there. We had a lot of dudes that were still out there, even though they were getting starter snaps. So with the guys not participating in this bowl game, how does the staff adjust to that? That's all I'm saying. Just something to watch for. Let's go back to the phones. 865-255-03. Good morning.
What's up, family? It's DZ in Milwaukee.
What's up, DZ?
Nothing much. Ben, what's good with you?
Not a whole lot. How are you?
I'm good. Just brought that dub back from Kankakee with me from over the weekend. A little light work.
Boy. I wish it was lighter, that's for sure, but it was great.
Yeah, man. Big Ten refs. Well, I don't know if they were exactly Big Ten refs, but I'm just going to assume they were. It was
basketball
it was
a tough way.
What you mean with the neutral refs?
Yeah, they just
belong to the sport, not a conference.
Yeah, you just get 3, and they have certain rankings and grades and things like that. Whereas with football, you have a crew that is assigned to a certain conference. So
gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so they probably were Big Ten refs, but
no,
but yeah,
they wasn't Big Ten refs. What they were whistle happy refs that called every foul, that wanted us to watch a free throw contest.
Yeah, it was rough, but I was very happy to see them pull out the result, and I think I DM'd you later on that evening, Swain. I was in the garage with my pops and some of his boys, and of course they were talking crap the whole time because they don't know anybody that reps Tennessee besides me. And as soon as Gainey made that layup, I jumped up as high as I could. Not the tallest dude, so it wasn't very high, but I pulled a calf muscle, and it's still kind of sore this morning, but it was worth it for sure. But really looking forward to Saturday, of course. Kind of wish it was like 3:30 on Saturday right now, because that's usually around the time I take my naps over the weekend and then wake up for like the evening games. I'm really excited for the game.
What are you, 65
Bro,
years
you
old?
sound real old right now.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to make it, man. Hey, so that's usually my nap time. I usually start early. I think I told y'all before I watch soccer, and soccer starts usually around 6-7 a.m. So I kind of need that little gap in the middle to make sure I make it through the evening games or whatever. So, but yeah, looking forward to Saturday for sure. I honestly, I'm not sure why the spread is still 7.5 at this point. I'm hoping, and I know that Heupel and the guys are using this as motivation because I just think Ohio State's overrated, to be honest. Especially with a lot of with the couple losses that they have on the offensive line. I just think we match up great with them. Obviously, this is a lot of our players' first time in, a game of this magnitude, and then especially with it being on the road. But I just think that the boys will be ready, and I think we're a great matchup for them.
Well, we're going to find out who's overrated and who's properly rated because, it's SEC versus Big Ten. We have made our comments over the years about the scheduling with Michigan and Ohio State and how they don't play anybody during the year. And so, man, there's a lot riding on this game. You advance if you win to the Rose Bowl. There's bragging rights with conferences. There's bragging rights between two fan bases, the easy. And, man, you tell your pops, go Vols. Yeah.
I sure will.
Yeah, tell him.
Well, remember, he's a Notre Dame fan, so he's going to be on pins and needles on Friday.
He better.
Yeah, he needs to be. Before I hop off, Ben, if you have a quick second, can you give us any quick nuggets on the portal recruits that were in over the weekend? And then I'll hop off and listen. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Well, first, thank you for Devin Williams, by the way. Trade from his Brewers to my Yankees. I appreciate that. I needed a little pick-me-up after the Juan Soto incident. But right now it seems like Tennessee's all after linemen at the moment. You had James Thompson Jr. He got here late Sunday night. He wasn't even here 24 hours. The Wisconsin defensive line transfer. He told Ryan Callahan that Tennessee set the bar really high. That was his first visit since entering the portal, and he had a lot of positive things to say about Tennessee, and now he's off to SMU, and he's also going to take visits to Illinois, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State. He'd like to make a decision as soon as possible, but he's also not going to rush that decision. You also had Javier Suggs, I hope I said his name correctly, the LSU defensive lineman who was in town as well. He was also very high on Tennessee, talked about how you can see why Tennessee is in the playoffs. And Swain, the one that I'm most intrigued by is the Arizona interior offensive lineman, Wendell Moe Jr. He was very, very productive. Excuse me. And very, very good at Arizona. And I think he's one that could really be a difference maker if you were to bring him in. Tennessee's brought in some linemen who, in my opinion, were not difference makers. I think he is a difference maker. He was in Auburn on Friday and half of the day on Saturday before coming up to Knoxville, and then he was going from Knoxville to Washington because his old coaching staff, who was at Arizona, Jed Fish, he is now at Washington, so he's going to go visit Washington. It seems like he really enjoyed his visit. The concern for Tennessee is linking back up with his old coaching staff, not even necessarily Auburn, but that he could potentially. He's from the West Coast. He's actually from Nico's neck of the woods in Cal Poly there in California. Washington, obviously closer. He is Samoan, from my understanding, so more of a cultural fit for him at Washington. And it is his old coach from Arizona who is now at Washington and the same coaching staff. So Washington is the concern there. But it seems like Tennessee did well with him while he was in town. So a lot of emphasis on the trenches. You had the receiver from Oklahoma, Edries Farouk's brother. I believe it's Jalil is his first name.
Mm-hmm.
He is interested in Tennessee, and there are some early conversations there. So we'll see where that one goes. But that's the skill position player I've heard in addition to those 3 linemen.
Yeah, the teams that are in the college football playoff, seems like there's a ton on the plate with preparing for the opponent, recruiting high school players and then recruiting the portal. LSU and the Ole Misses of the world, they have hit the ground running. That doesn't mean that they got the advantage over us. That just means that, hey, they are more willing to be aggressive in how they conduct recruiting right now with the portal. We don't know how much money they're throwing out. I do find it ironic that they're picking up commitments hours after a young man hits the portal. I think that is ironic, man. That's a hell of a recruiting pitch, man.
That's not ironic. That's what we call tampering. I mean, Barryon Brown was at LSU like 24 hours later.
Yeah, that was quick. So, but it is what it is.
And it's very odd. You talk to some of these guys, and at least I think 2 of the guys that I mentioned were they brought up their agent, and it was like, hey, I gotta talk to my agent, see what's next, see when the next decision could be. I mean, it is truly like professional free agency. It really is. All these guys have agents, and all these guys really lean on their agents to help set up visits and contracts and this, that, and the other.
That's where we are, man. That's where we are. Peyton Lewis, did he return a few? I think he was back there. I think Peyton Lewis was back there, returning kicks at some point this season. But yeah, I just don't see us returning a lot. And I would be surprised if we turn down fair catches and get the ball to the 25-yard line. Now, one thing you can do to make sure you don't get a bunch of those kicks is not let them score. That's what you can do. Chip Hayne, what matchup are you looking forward to see, and what matchup worries you? Our defensive line versus their offensive line. That's the matchup I'm looking forward to see. And then the matchup that worries me is their backers, tight ends versus our linebackers.
See, Tennessee's offensive line versus their defensive front is what worries me. The matchup I'm most looking forward to watching is Ohio State's receivers versus Jamal McCoy, Boo Carter, and Ricky Gibson. That's one where you're bringing your popcorn to and watch what's happening there. The concern is the offensive line for me.
Tennessee's offensive line?
Yes, against a good Ohio State defensive front. I don't think it's what Georgia's is. Doesn't have the ceiling that Georgia has, but that's the strength of Ohio State. Very much like Tennessee's strength is the defensive front.
You mentioned their receivers versus our DBs. McCoy and Gibson, they talk all the time about being the best corner duo in the country. Well, here's your chance. This is your chance. McCoy's been recognized.
Because there's not a better trio of receivers that you can go up against this year.
No. This will be the best for sure. Like you will look back, and if you're playing against Ohio State's receivers, you're gonna look back and go, man, yeah, I played against that dude. I played against that guy when he's playing in the NFL. Like they're gonna turn out NFL receivers, and you have opportunity to prove that you are the best duo in the country. Ricky Gibson and Jamal McCoy. McCoy's been recognized as All-American. He's been recognized as all-conference type of player, first team by some publications. Ricky Gibson, they're coming to you. Like, they're not going to throw away from McCoy, and I wouldn't if I'm Ohio State, because I would have confidence in my guys. But they're coming. They're coming to you, Gibson. They're coming, Boo Carter. They're going to throw it to their third receiver. Even if McCoy does a great job on whoever number one is, that could be Jeremiah Smith or whatever, they're coming to number 2 and number 3. So, Boo and Gibson, opportunities are coming your way.
defensive front has to be their best friend in this football game. You cannot afford to leave them on an island. You have to get home and generate pressure and limit the amount of time that they are in coverage. And again, it's pretty crazy how similar this feels to the Georgia game to me, because there are questions about Ohio State's offensive line. They're battling some injuries, very much like Georgia was going into that game. And Georgia's offensive line played their best game of the season against Tennessee. Tennessee's defensive front cannot allow that to happen again.
On the text box here, People's LCP says, did y'all catch Heupel's presser when he said nothing new on offense and defense? Seems like an odd place to state that. He was asked,
joking.
He was definitely joking, but he was asked a direct question that solicited that response, right? And he was joking when he said we're not going to do anything new on offense or defense. So,
yeah, he said it with a smirk on his face.
like, even if he didn't have a smirk on his face, Ben, no coach is going to come in here and say, yeah, we got these wrinkles. We got these wrinkles on offense and defense, and here are the wrinkles. This is what we're going to do differently. So, yeah, he's being sarcastic. But even without the smirk on the face, just putting two and two together, a coach is not going to admit that they got stuff up their sleeve. And Ohio State's going to have different wrinkles that they're going to show us on Saturday. We got to be able to adjust. Nila Mafia says he has a lot to say about NIL, but I'm waiting until the season ends because I probably won't have a friend left after I peel paint. Well, it's not NIL. This part of recruiting is not NIL. This is pay for play. It's what it is, and that's what it is.
I'll always be your friend, Nealon Mafia. Swain may not because you steal his popcorn, but I will always be your friend.
I'm definitely friends. Farouk are cousins.
Yes, my apologies. Thank you, Hunsucker, for pointing that out.
Why would a player in the portal commit to a team whose coach stepped down 2 days later, who left a team that's in the playoff? Well, referring to Caleb Webb, I'm not blaming any player for getting into the portal at this time. It's not their fault. They're put in a bad situation because of the calendar, because of the grown-ups in the room have failed them. I'll explain. And I really had to step out of my own shoes to look at this. And I think a lot of times when we have opinions, we see things from our own lens, from our own perspective. And that can apply in different areas of life. Try to understand what the other person is feeling or the other person is going through before making a comment or having an opinion. Like, try to see it through their lens. And that's what I've done regarding these players hitting the portal. Because number one, I probably wouldn't be hitting the portal unless it was for money. Because it would be for playing time, because I'm playing. I played every game in Tennessee. I didn't miss any games. So it wouldn't be that. The only reason I would hit the portal if I felt like I wasn't getting paid what I deserved. And in this case, that's what's happening for some of them. Now, you have to get your spot at the new school. Look what's going on around the country. Look at LSU and Ole Miss, two teams that have money. They're gobbling up players. So I talked to a player that is a transfer from another school. And he told me that when he hit the portal, it was a little bit later, that when he talked to schools, they didn't have room for him, even though he's a heck of a player for us. And they would be crazy not to take him down, or they would have changed their mind in a heartbeat if they knew the type of production that Tennessee's gotten from this player. But they didn't have room for that player because he got into the portal late. And then Tennessee was able to get in, and he came here, and he's been a good player for us. So I understand why these guys are hitting the portal and why they need to, and why they're not playing in this game. I don't blame them. It stinks. It's not their fault, because let's just say Tennessee wins this weekend. That's another week where that player can't get into the portal. He can't find his new place, and he's more at risk of not having a spot at his new squad. Let's say Tennessee wins after that. So I don't blame the player. I blame the game. I don't hate the player, I hate the game. I blame the system. I blame the grown-ups in the room. It's not the player's fault.
The only time I would be annoyed by a player is if they left right now. If they're a significant contributor on a playoff team and they left for more money. That would be the only one where I would look at it with my eyebrow raised and not be a fan of it. If Nico or James Pierce Jr. or Dylan Sampson or Dante Thornton, and I realize some of those guys don't have eligibility, but just for the sake of the point, like if those guys entered the portal because LSU came to Dylan Sampson and was like, come back home, we'll give you $500,000 more. Like that'd be the only one where I would not be a fan of making a move because somebody gave you money to leave while your team is still in the playoffs. That would be the only one. But Tennessee hasn't had any instances of that with its current players. I mean, the closest one to being questionable is Jalen Smith. I mean, the guy was playing 20 snaps or so a game. Now, I think he had been recruited over, so like I get it, but like he was going to play quite a bit in the playoffs. He wasn't going to play 40 or 50 snaps, but he was going to be able to get some film on tape. And, I mean, if you play against Ohio State and you play well, if you go and play Oregon and you play well, I realize the calendar doesn't benefit you, but you can still enter the portal later. And if you put good film on tape, then you become even more valuable, especially when at that point in time, there's not very many options left. You're one of the only options.
Yeah, if you're a player, you wanna get to the portal and talk to a team when they have the most money. Yeah, you don't want to talk to the team that only has a few pennies left, because then you won't get as much as you think you can get. So
right.
I get it. I'm not pointing a finger at the players. I can't.
And I feel bad for Caleb Webb. I mean, that's awful timing for him to commit to a school and then the next day the head coach announces that he's stepping down. I mean, that's some tough luck right there.
It may work out for him. It worked out for Hendon.
Yeah, it did, but it's still a unfortunate situation.
Yeah, it is. I thought about him when Dave Clawson stepped down, and I'm pretty sure Dave is going to be, because he's not going anywhere. He's just stepping down as a coach. He's going to still be with the program. He's going to serve, more in an advisory role. But I'm sure that he's going to comfort Caleb Webb and reassure him that everything's okay, and wait and see who's going to be the coach before making any drastic decisions. Buck Nasty, how do you think OSU will bracket Thornton? I don't think they will. I don't think they feel like they have to. I mean, I wouldn't if I were them. I mean, just because Thornton is Tennessee's best player doesn't mean he is Justin Jefferson. It doesn't mean he's Ryan Williams. It doesn't mean he's a receiver from Arizona. No, and I love me some Dante Thornton. Thornton knows how I feel about him, but Thornton hasn't been double teamed all season long, from what I've seen.
No, Tennessee doesn't have receivers that need to be doubled, quite frankly.
No, I mean, it'd be one, like, if Brock Bowers was playing receiver, you double him. I mean, Julio Jones was playing receiver in the SEC, you double him, or A.J. Green, someone like that. But I don't think OSU is going to bracket Thornton unless it's, on this particular play, we know y'all going to Thornton, so we're going to bracket him on this play. They're not going to bracket him for the entirety of the football game because they're afraid he's going to torture him like Jamar Chase did when he was with LSU.
And I think, if anything, they're not going to try and Tennessee's passing game does not scare you. You understand that Nico has a ton of natural talent, and Nico's playing good football to end the season going into this football game. But if I'm an opposing defensive coordinator, Tennessee's passing game does not scare me, quite frankly. And so I think instead of bracketing this guy or that guy, I think a guy like Caleb Downs is going to be used more in the box. I think they're going to sell out to stop the run with Dylan Sampson, and you're going to see a lot of one-high safety looks, and you're going to see the box loaded, and Caleb Downs, who's one of the best safeties in America, I think he's going to be utilized a ton in the box.
Yep, I see that too, man. I think.
Or, I mean, Kitzelman is just as big of a target for Nico as any of the receivers. Maybe Caleb Downs draws the Kitzelman matchup.
Yeah, maybe. Rodney Nostels says, hey, guys, how do some schools become known as a place to develop receiver? Ohio State has been producing receivers forever, even in the cold weather. Well, we can look at other schools in the last decade and a half that have used the moniker wide receiver U. LSU has done it. Alabama has made a case, Clemson, and Ohio State. All 3 or 4 of those schools have something in common. They put guys in the league. They recruit highly rated players from the success that they had from the previous receiver, helping them get to the league. Then that receiver goes to the league and he balls out. You use that to recruit the next great receiver, and that's what Brian Hartline has been able to do at Ohio State over and over and over. It's what Clemson was doing. It's what Alabama was doing. The Amari Coopers, it came because Julio. Then after that, you had other receivers come in Alabama. I mean, same thing can be said at LSU. So that's what we gotta get back to. That's what we have to do. So that's the answer to the question without getting too far in the weeds. Any chance Caleb Webb stays with Clawson stepping down? I don't see the reason why Caleb Webb would stay. He wasn't playing. I mean, in year 3.
You want him to stay?
I don't want him to stay for his sake. I want him to go somewhere and play.
Well, and then from Tennessee standpoint, I think you can upgrade by going and getting a more productive receiver in the portal.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely one way to look at it, for sure. I agree with you. I don't disagree. But
I'm still stunned that one didn't work out. Caleb Webb had phenomenal film as a senior in high school in the Atlanta area. I thought he was going to be really good for Tennessee, really solid receiver, and for whatever reason, it just did not work out. Did you see Chaz Nimrod? Was that the Tennessee basketball game on Saturday while he was on a visit to Illinois?
I did not see that. Who's the root for?
He was not the fan that put his hands on Chaz Lanier.
Boy, Chaz better than me, because we would have had a misunderstanding right there.
The basketball practice was open to the media yesterday morning, and they were all, the team and some staff members were joking around about that before practice. It was funny to listen to them get their jokes off. And it seemed like Chaz didn't really completely understand what had happened to him until he walked away. But you're right. Chaz is cool, calm, and collected. And thank goodness he is, because what if that had been Admiral?
I was thinking Admiral. I was thinking Lamonte.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, just some of the guys in the Rick Barnes era.
I mentioned this on our Go Vols 24/7 podcast last night that is now posted if you want to check it out after Swain and I finish here. Obviously, going into a road environment, you expect to hear some junk thrown at you. You expect to hear some trash talk. Mm-hmm. I heard that Illinois was as nasty of a place as they've walked into, and just some of the fans just had some really disgusting things to say to the coaches and the players, and were very over the top at times. I mean, I heard somebody say yesterday that is by far one of the worst places they have been during Rick Barnes' tenure, is that atmosphere there in Illinois. Just some of the things that were, again, shouted at the coaches and the players.
Not surprised. I expected it. Illinois is a basketball state. I expected it. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Hey guys, it's Ricky B in North Alabama.
What's up, Ricky?
Hey, it's been forever since I've had a chance to call you guys, just because I worked too early, but had an opportunity here. I wanted to call you guys and ask a couple of questions about the football game this weekend. First, Jason, looking back at the Georgia game, you know, we kind of got beat over the middle with their tight ends from our linebacker play, I believe. I would like you to kind of dissect that a little bit. And my second question is, since the temperature is going to be pretty cold, in my thoughts, I would think that a pass downfield would come up a little shorter than normal because of the dense air. From your experience, do you think that's true, and could that help Nico's overthrowing people?
Well, I mean, the throw against Vanderbilt, the one that was picked off, that was not an underthrow at all. You know,
very true.
Yeah, so I do think the cold weather will affect the kickers and the punters because that ball's going to be harder, and it's going to hurt a whole lot more, you know, kicking that ball. I think for the quarterbacks, I don't know if it's going to be a big deal, honestly.
Gotcha.
And then the matchup with the tight ends and the linebackers and safeties from the Georgia game, you know, we were talking about the matchup that maybe concerns us the most. It's why I looked at the linebacker versus running back and tight ends, because I know Georgia attacked this in the middle of the football field and completed it. Alabama was open all day long in the middle of the football field, and Jalen Milroe just couldn't hit guys in the middle of the football field. And so you look at last year on the road against Florida, they attacked us there too. So I just expect Ohio State to try to attack us with their very talented running backs who are good in space. And then I expect their receivers to run through the middle of the zones there in the middle of the football field to challenge our linebackers too. So I just expect our linebackers to be picked on. How do we respond? How do we play? Maybe a difference in the football game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was a little nervous about over the middle, but hopefully we're getting coached up at this point. Having a couple of weeks to plan for this is a lot better than going week to week, in my opinion. In the last little nugget, I do want to say something about basketball, since you guys were just talking about it.
Please.
It's unbelievable to think back the 10 years Coach Barnes has been here, where we started and where we are now. His ability to pull in Dalton and then to get Chaz Lanier, I really think, I don't know how much longer Coach Barnes has in his coaching, but it's pretty incredible. I think he can keep doing this every year, pulling a stud guy that he can use to show off in our offense. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm glad these guys are. This may be the best team as far as cohesiveness that I've seen from Coach's time. Maybe Admiral and Grant, but pretty excited about where we are basketball wise. I think it's going to be a killer SEC schedule, but I'm really excited about it. I'm glad that we've got Mr. Ben here on the basketball coverage, so looking forward to reading more of his stuff on 24/7. But love you guys. Talk to you later, and I'll keep listening.
Hey, thank you, Ricky B.
Hold it down for us in North Alabama. Hopefully he's more towards Huntsville than Decatur or Coleman, Florence.
The question that Rodney Nostell asked about receiver and it applies with what Rick Barnes has done in his last 2 years pulling Dalton Connect and Chazanier. Think about it, Ben. There was a connection with both of them. But what I mean, Rick Barnes was able to use the connection to bring those guys in. With Dalton Connect, it was Kevin Durant. Dalton loved Kevin Durant. Oh, I coached Kevin Durant. There's your connection. Chazanier, hey, man, he's from Nashville. He went to Innsworth. One of your greats, one of your legends, who's on SC Network, my man Ron Slay, is in Nashville. It's from
put the
Nashville.
butter on the roll.
There's connections that Rick Barnes has been able to capitalize on, and so, next year I wonder what is the connection going to be, or can Rick Barnes pull a player in without even having a connection? I think he can because of his track record, but it's this basketball team is fun to watch. The Lady Vols, they are fun to watch. I'm telling you, you need to tap in. They're fun to watch as they continue to add more talent to the program. Watch out. So basketball programs are in a really, really great place. I will say this too. I was watching SC Network and Alyssa Lane, Steffi Sorgen. I think I said her name right. Probably butchered. Sorensen from
There's
Florida.
no G.
And it was good to see Kelly Harper. She's part of the SEC Network coverage, and glad that she has been able to step forward and do that in such a short amount of time. So much love to Kelly Harper. Basketball programs, men's and women, cooking right now. Undefeated, only school in the country that can say that. Tremel from chat says Bryce James, eye emoji. That's better players than Bryce James. The Ray Barnes can get.
And Bron ain't letting him come all the way out here.
Yeah.
Bron will cook up a special plan for him.
Yeah, don't even waste your time.
Probably will only play games on the 5th of the month and the 25th of the month. That's the only time he's going to be allowed to play in a basketball game.
Yeah. Voller Ball says D-line got to get their hands up, break up some balls to possibly help linebackers if they're trying the crossing routes and stuff over the middle. Yeah, the best at that has been Omari Thomas, man. He's been the best at timing up the quarterback throws and being able to get a hand on the ball when he's not able to get to the passer. Oh, yeah, the thing is, that what if that happened to Uros? If Uros is pushed, well, that guy probably wouldn't push Uros because he pushed Chaz because he thought, I guess, Chaz was smaller, but Chaz 6'5" himself. But we know what happened, or what would have happened if Uros is pushed on the road to Illinois the way Chaz was pushed.
Well, it's a good thing they didn't push Zakai.
I was like, yeah.
Zakai ain't playing that.
He ain't playing that at all. He would have got a 6 foul.
He would have got his 6th and 7th on a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, for sure. Turkey Man asked, how do I think Nico would throw in the cold weather? I think he's going to throw fine. I think he'll be fine.
Do you think it is a fair question given he's a Cali kid?
It's a fair question, but he didn't have sleeves on against Vanderbilt. That should have told you right there. Oh, okay. All
and
right.
he threw it fine. He threw it great against Vandy outside of a couple of throws. I thought he played really well against Vandy. And
yeah.
I haven't looked up the exact temperatures, but it seems like the temps that day of the Vanderbilt game are going to be very similar to the temps of Ohio State.
No. It's going to be different.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
It was like 30-something. Has the temperature projection gone down? The forecast gone down?
The high's 29.
It'll definitely be a little colder, but I mean, it was 30-something degrees. It was low 30s that day, and the wind was not fun.
Yeah, but the sun came out.
Yeah, that's true.
It was a whole lot. It warmed up.
I hear you. It's still not going to be a huge difference.
Yeah, I can't quantify a huge difference. I just know that Saturday night's going to be low 20s.
Yes, and obviously, like you said about the sun, it's going to be dark. Does it say what the wind is and going to be in front of you? I think last I saw it was 5 to 10 miles an hour.
11.
Okay, so wind.
No. Let me go back. 10. Yep.
Yeah.
10.
So not that bad, but
Yeah.
the certainly with it being at night will make a difference. No doubt.
It's going to be really cold. So if you are going, make sure you bundle up. And for the quarterback, he's going to be fine. Nico, he has huge hands, and guys that have huge hands can grip the football in cold weather. You should know this, Ben, because your Steelers drafted a quarterback with small hands a couple years ago, and Kenny Pickett, and that's why he was critiqued going into the draft, because in cold weather the ball gets slicker, and if he can't grip it, that can be a problem. So, but
why are you bringing up old stuff?
Well, I'm just using an example. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on? This Gene?
Yes, it's Gene.
Man, look at that. Good morning, Gene.
How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Hope you are too.
Yeah, we're doing well. I'm having a ball watching my favorite sport, which is basketball, of course.
Men's and women's.
Yeah, they're fun. I'm worried about their defense when they get into the league play, but it's just because I'm watching their defense in non-league play, and it's suspect. But man, it's going to be so fun.
You ain't wrong, brother. You are not wrong.
And I don't think the cold is going to be as big a deal on the throwing as it is on the hitting. You know, I grew up playing ball up there from 6th grade through early high school in northern Ohio, about an hour north of Columbus. And all I remember was when you hit, you decide you're going to put a stinger on somebody. You got that stinger, but you got that stinger right back.
That's going to be the difference.
That's going to be the difference. Is those linemen and those linebackers are going to have to, maybe put a little ace bandage around those forearms to help with that. Keep those warm, because when that gets cold, you hold back a little bit from the first of the game. You'll smack and hit some stingers. After that, you might just try to wrap them up.
For sure, Gene. You spot on with that one, man. That's the first thing you notice in the cold weather.
Yep. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you all Merry Christmas. I enjoy listening. I just don't get to call as much.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you, Gene, man. Thank you for the phone call. Man, look forward to talking to you here soon.
Yes,
right.
Merry Christmas to you and yours. Hope you're doing well.
865-255-03.
Are you prepared?
No.
You're probably going to be walking around in slides, some Jordan slides, no socks on.
That's not professional. That's not professional, Ben.
Yeah, but you love the cold weather.
Yeah, but standing in it, like just standing there, is a little bit different. And so I've been thinking about my approach. I haven't got anything new. I haven't bought any cold weather gear. I did see a staffer yesterday, and they were at Dick's looking for some cold weather gear. I was laughing at them. I thought about going looking at some cold weather gear. Couldn't, because I had to be somewhere at 4 o'clock. So I didn't have no time to shop. But like, I'm not prepared, Ben. I'm not prepared.
You need to get prepared.
Well, I mean,
are you going to wear your usual khaki pants that I always see you in on Saturdays?
Yeah, I'll have some pants on. I don't know what color.
Well, I'm glad that you're going to have some pants on, which I guess we should not assume, because Buck Nasty is certainly not going to have his pants on.
Well, I'm not going to wear gray. I can't wear gray because...
Can't wear red.
Well, obviously, Ben.
Why can't you wear gray?
Well, I'm not going to wear gray because, that's Ohio State's colors.
Well, I always see you in khakis anyways.
Well, I'm usually wear gray pants or black pants.
Well, whatever pants you wear, you need to put some long johns on underneath.
Well, that's the thing. Like, whatever I wear, I probably would have to wear on the plane back. unless I change right after post-game interviews, which there's not a lot of time. Because when the post-game interviews are over, like folks are booking it to the buses to get up to the airport to fly back. And so...
Are you traveling with the team this time?
Yes.
And back?
Yes. So will I have enough time to change the long johns or the undergarments? Because I do not want to be riding on a plane with that on.
No.
I'll be
But
burning up.
Is it worth it to sacrifice that plane ride for 4 hours on a football field?
Like I'll get hot.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I'll get hot, and so I don't want my feet to be sweating and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to approach it, where I'm warm but I don't sweat, and then it's I'm colder because of the sweat. Like I'm trying to figure this part out. So we'll see.
You need to get you a beanie. I know that much. For your
I
bald
definitely
head.
got that. I gotta protect that bald head now. I will have a beanie. No hat. I'm covering the ears up.
I will be right there with you. Volleyball wants to know.
Oh, really? Right there with me?
Yeah.
You going?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, let's go.
Volleyball wants to know where they can listen to you during the game.
I don't know what frequency. If you are, I mean, obviously, if you're here in Knoxville, I mean, it's 990 AM and 99.1.
Well, and then you can also on Sirius XM. I know Sirius XM, you got to pay for it. But if you have Sirius XM, it'll be on channel 82 according to the game notes. Now that may be like an ESPN broadcast, but if you have Sirius XM, you can find the Tennessee broadcast or the Ohio State broadcast if you search for it. If not, I would imagine the easiest thing to do if you're just sitting at home is just pulling up 99.1 on your computer because it'll be streamed, correct? I mean, you can stream 99.1 live.
Yeah.
It'll be on there.
Yeah, I was wondering if, because usually we find out like the local station for the people who want to listen to the radio broadcast, but locally it's going to be on 991 and WIVK 107.7. So that's how you can listen if you are not in Columbus. And then we'll find out the radio frequency for those who are in Columbus. But shout out to Tennessee for having those game notes available because Ohio State, what they waiting on? It's Tuesday.
Ohio States are out.
Oh, we don't see them.
I will send them to you. I got the Ohio State. Ohio State has actually been really good in terms of distributing media information. And they emailed the game notes yesterday. They also emailed Ryan Day talking, Chip Kelly talking, players talking. They've done a good job of helping the Tennessee media out as well, which is greatly appreciated. I know to the fan that may not seem like much, but
sure.
It's a lifesaver.
Yeah, so they didn't update it on this site then. That's all. So
are you on that college football reference page that I put you on?
Yeah, I am. They just don't have it updated there.
Yeah. Next
it's
time,
all good.
Go straight to the source.
Yes, it's all good. Are we able to borrow Meshack from the basketball program for the Ohio State game as a lockdown corner? I'm sure his defense skills will translate to the field. Oh, yes.
I think he'd be a better safety.
He would be good in any position on defense.
Y'all leave the basketball players alone.
Sweaty beans on the plane is not a good idea, Ben from Chabelle.
I'm aware, but I'd rather deal with that than be cold for 4 hours.
Got to get thermal bottoms and wool socks. Put some hand warmers in a jacket pocket. Well, Chris Brown is giving me some gloves. Former Tennessee linebacker, but tight end is giving me some gloves. He's buying me some gloves. So.
Oh, how nice.
That's his Christmas present towards me. I told him was like, I don't want gloves because I need to be able to have my phone during the game. He's like, well, I'm gonna get you some gloves where you can still be able to, use your phone. So I was like, all right, cool. So
I have gloves that the tips on the outside are they're material that allows you to touch your phone.
Yeah, I'm really not worried about the weather. I can handle 20.
I am glad I will be in the press box though.
I can handle 20 degrees. It says low 16. Like I can handle 20s. I can handle that. I remember
16's not in the 20s.
Roughly.
Are you rounding up?
Yeah, roughly. But I remember February of this year where it was down in the negatives. That's different. That's a different type of cold. But I can handle 20 something. And plus I got heaters on the sideline. I'll walk back and forth, keep myself warm, and stand next to a heater here or there. I'll be all right. I ain't worried about it. Don't think the cold weather is going to affect us like that. But Ohio State fans, man, they think that we play next to the equator.
They think that Tennessee plays in Florida.
Let me give y'all some tips for my Tennessee fans on cold weather tips. We don't need them. It gets cold here. We good.
It gets very cold. We got a winter storm last year that shut down Knoxville for almost a week.
That's the difference. It gets cold here just like it does there, but it's how we handle it that is different here than there because they get it more frequently, so they have to invest in those, that equipment to clear the road, whereas we don't invest in that equipment because we can use that money in other places because we don't get those days as much. So we'll shut down rather than keep going. But in terms of like the difference in the weather, it gets cold here too. Like we all right. Thanks for the advice, Buckeye fans. We all right. Somebody tell John Campbell plant a flag in the end zone, not on the O. It's a felony.
It won't be John Campbell that plants it. If a flag gets planted, it will be Javonte Spraggins. And he's going to try too. If they win, Sprags is absolutely trying to plant a flag. Swain's going to be right in the middle of it. Swain's going to get pepper sprayed.
Bro, when the game is over, I go straight to the locker room. I don't know anybody to dap up, chop it up with.
You dap me up.
I go straight inside. Yeah, I talk to you, and what do I do? How long are our conversations after the game?
Not very long because you don't like me.
No, before the game, during the game, after the game, I'm gone.
We had a nice long conversation before the Vanderbilt game.
I know, but I'm gone after the game. I'm not standing out there in that field. After standing up for 3.5 hours, I'm gone. Getting ready for post-game interviews, man. And I'll be warming up after the game. Let's see what else is here in the text box. I think we pretty much caught up there on the text box. Ladies and gentlemen, specials going on right now at Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical until the end of the year. $500 Visa gift card is what you can get when you decide to buy a new HVAC system or a new whole home generator. Big time promotion that will go until the end of the year. Also, when you go out and get a new tankless water heater from Hiller, Hiller's going to give you a $250 Visa gift card. And these deals are only available, again, till the end of the year. You can schedule today at happyhiller.com. Man, there was a stretch, I want to say 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, I had Hiller come to my house like 3 days in a row, and we avoided a major situation. And they were awesome, man. Golly, man, they saved me so much money. I thought I was gonna have to basically tear up my whole bathroom, but that did not happen at all, and we were able to address the issue and prevent it from happening in the near future. So, man, I'm extremely grateful for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Cameron, Tennessee Vol says if Shaq ain't comfortable shooting them with confidence, he won't make a single one. No, I mean, he did have an air ball in the corner versus Illinois. I mean, like, he's going to have to shoot it because they're going to start sagging off.
And that's what makes zero sense to me is he had the best shooting percentage on the team over the summer and over the offseason. And I watch him make these shots in practice all the time. So at some point, the rubber's going to hit the road, and he's going to have to start taking those shots when teams are sagging off on him, and he's going to have to make some. The way that I watch him do in practice all the time.
Yep. SC Fall says driving to Columbus from SC. Let's go. Clay says, I feel like the Ohio State athletic director should have kept his mouth shut about Tennessee fans buying tickets, just adding fuel to the fire. I mean, if he didn't say anything, Tennessee fans would have continued to buy the tickets. When he says something, he just made his program look bad. Like, no different than the flag planting lawmaker. All he did was put the eyeballs on his program that Tennessee fans was going to invade their stadium. That's all he did was add more attention to it. Chip Payne says, my brother-in-law's family are from Ohio and are Ohio State fans. And yes, they are rude and arrogant. I call them Alabama North. I can't wait to rub it in when we win. Last year, when Michigan beat Ohio State, I gave my 8-year-old nephew a Michigan shirt, and he was so mad. I love it. I am shocked. Chip Payne would be so petty. I am shocked. But I'm proud of you, Chip. And I hope you do again. Tennessee's able to win. Brad says Norman Lott is going to be the flag planter Saturday. No, Ben is right.
Omar's a good candidate, though.
Yeah, but
if not Spraggs, it'll be Omar.
Spraggs,
they might both do it.
Spraggs, in the last couple of years, has been the one that has waved the flag or he has some type of prop. Like Spraggs is about that action. That's up Spraggs' alley right there. Ball says the chili will be hot. Stop worrying, Vol fans. Well, there's a lot of Vol fans worried about this game. Like, you respect Ohio State, but there's a lot of confidence. I don't hear worry from Tennessee fans, and it's a little weird because I think Ohio State's a really good football team, and I think Tennessee fans are maybe discounting them more than they should, but I do think our fans are very, very, very confident in our ability to go up there and get the win. It's just been a long time since we've gotten a road night game win. I think it was 2021 versus Kentucky was the last time. That doesn't mean you can't do it and you won't do it. It's just been a very, very long time. So you got to win the turnover margin. Can't have a ton of silly penalties. And the things that get us in trouble on the road at night, I look at Missouri game last year, I look at Georgia game this year, Arkansas game. It's the snowball effect of mistakes. You're up 10-0 against Georgia. You have offside, then you have a drop, and it just starts snowballing. Like, when you make a mistake, keep it at 1. Don't let it snowball. Don't allow Ohio State to go on a 13-0 run like in basketball. And I don't mean 13 points. I mean like a run of making consecutive plays while you make consecutive mistakes. Nelson from Jackson, will y'all try the Ohio chili while y'all are there? Hell no. Ain't that chili?
Absolutely not.
I'm not eating anybody's chili.
That's a bold take.
Nah, man, we cook chili over here quite
Okay,
well.
that doesn't mean that other people don't make good chili.
I didn't say that, man.
So if my mom gave you a bowl of chili, you're going to tell her no?
I'm not going to tell her no.
But you're not going to eat it?
She don't give me a bowl of chili.
But what if she did?
I'll taste it.
She makes food. She's made food for y'all before?
I'll taste it. Yeah, I know. I know. She make them sweets.
Yeah, I know. And the missus, when I saw y'all at the basketball game a couple weeks ago, right before Thanksgiving, the missus was like, "Hey, tell your mom we like that gooey butter cake."
Yeah, she can send that up here all day long. But like, you know, we do chili pretty well in this house. So, you know, we don't
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, we don't necessarily need anybody making some chili. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it definitely don't need any fast food chili, restaurant chili.
I'm not eating any chili from Ohio.
No.
No, thank you.
Sorry to anybody who is currently listening in Ohio or from Ohio.
I'm not sorry.
I know you're not. I am.
I don't think there's reason to be sorry. Like, the chili don't look good. I'm not eating it. Trail says, they overly confident. I'll say it. I'm confident. But some of these fans gonna call for Hyper's job if we lose. How confident they are. I don't think it's a problem for fans to be overly confident. It don't really matter because we ain't playing. As long as the players and the coaches go out there and execute the game plan and have a great game plan, that's all that matters. So we can be overly confident. We can be extremely pessimistic. It's the execution on the football field that matters. But the tickets being bought up by Tennessee fans lets you know that Tennessee fans are very, 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 very confident. And I love it.
And the fact that Ohio State fans are letting it happen to a certain extent lets you know that they are not confident.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Volstone says venison chili is fantastic. Oh, I believe you. I believe you. I think I've tried some some stew with some venison in it from someone. It was good. It's not something I prefer to have, but it was good. It wasn't bad at all. Jeffrey Moore said I need to hit some. I need to get some smart wool socks. I just don't want my feet to be out there sweating, but I'm gonna get them.
You just need to take a change of clothes and then make an effort to quickly change in between the final buzzer and you doing post-game interviews.
All right, good plan. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do, Ben. That's the move. That's the move, Ben. I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna get me some undergarment, and I'll be warm. I'll be good to go. Speaking of Jeffrey Morris, Ben, folks all the time tell me, "Oh man, I can't wait to move to Knoxville, man. In a couple years, I'll make it happen. Now, I gotta retire, or I gotta get this in place. I gotta cross this T, dot this I. Knoxville's a place for me, and when I do it, I'm gonna call Jeffrey Morris. I would say that's a good idea.
It's a great idea. It's the best idea you can ever have because she is the absolute best in the Knoxville area, the East Tennessee area. She is more than willing to help you do whatever you would like to do in the real estate market. And if there is something that she cannot do, she has a million connections in which she can help you get linked up with the person that you need to get linked up with to help accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. So she is the best. We're not saying that just to say it. There's former Tennessee athletes, current Tennessee athletes. There are other members of the Swain Event family that have worked with her and all swear by her. You will not be disappointed. And it's more than just business with Jennifer. It's very personal. And she wants to do everything in her power to make sure that you are taken care of. It's just not a financial transaction to her. So please reach out to Jennifer Morris of Keller Williams Realty for all of your real estate needs.
Someone said I need get some toasty toes. I was like, what is that? I had to look it up right quick. Oh, it's just hand warmers.
Toasty toes.
It's just hand warmers.
You should get the socks that like each of your toe goes in there's a spot for each of your toes.
Oh yeah, kind of like gloves, but for toes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
I'm sure Caleb Williams has some pairs that he can let you borrow.
I want to talk about pro football right now.
I don't either. Are you gonna go over and watch practice this morning?
Football practice?
Yeah, they're letting us view it at 10:15.
I got a show at 12.
Okay, and
nah, I'm good.
How many media members get sniped for recording something that they're not supposed to?
Oh, you better not. This is not the day.
Yeah, coworker, you go film the mesh point and routes on air. I'm gonna go down here and record Rodney Garner putting his unit through the bag and dummies. You go do the offense, Wes. Wes, you go deal with the offense.
You better double check, make sure the camera can be used during a certain time, because this is not the time to be playing around with that stuff. So no, I won't be able to go to practice. There's nothing I'm going to see at practice that I'll be able to report on anyways. So
no, the newcomers will be practicing.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna be part of the game plan like that.
Can David Sanders play this weekend?
I'm not opposed to that. I'm open to that idea. Yeah, 100% open to that. Somebody sent me man, I'm not wearing it. Turkey man. I can't wear that turkey man. You know, it looks pretty cool. It's overalls.
You get you some camo overalls.
Like
Buck Nasty will match.
It's like some orange camo overalls.
That's what you need right there. Set the tone.
No, I'll be all right, man. It's not going to be negative 20. We're going to be okay. We're going to be all right. Thursday. We'll be 2 days out, my friends. 2 days out when we meet again. That's going to be... I'm getting chills thinking about the game now. Men's basketball, ladies basketball, y'all, chew bubble gum, walk at the same time. You can be ready for the football game while still locking in with our basketball team. This team is really, really good, and the Lady Vols really, really good as well. So try to go to some basketball games if you can. What's the next game, Ben?
Tonight.
I figured.
After tonight, they don't play again until I think they play MTSU next Monday. They play Western Carolina tonight, and then they play MTSU on the 23rd, which is next Monday, and then they play Norfolk State on the 31st, New Year's Eve, and then SEC play. Arkansas comes to town on January 4th. Since he's going to be number one here for a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. January 4th. Maybe we see black uniforms again.
Have you heard that they're going to wear black uniforms for the start of SEC play?
I know that they were determining which game they were going to debut the black uniforms. Was it Arkansas at home or Syracuse at home? And so that's why I asked, you've already worn them versus Syracuse. Does that mean you don't wear them against Arkansas, or does that mean you wear them again versus Arkansas? That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Rick Barnes is the biggest fan of the black uniform, so I'm sure we'll see it again at some point. But
it could be better.
They could be. They're very simple, which I kind of like how simple they are. But I hear you. But we'll see them again at some point. I don't know how much we'll see them again.
Nelson from Jackson says, will Sanders be with the team Saturday night? If so, it may be a rough night for him. Why would it be a rough night? Because he was picking between Tennessee and Ohio State? Or because he won't be able to play and maybe he would want to play? But yeah, he will be. I mean, all the early enrollees will be with the team.
Well,
they practice.
Will they travel?
Yeah.
This isn't your usual bowl game.
Yeah, they travel. Yep.
That's a lot of people traveling.
Ben, that is right. A lot of people. That's what Nelson was talking about. Backlash from OSU fans.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a few here and there that might say something, but
ain't nobody gonna say nothing to him.
No, it won't be crazy. I don't think.
Maybe if Tennessee is losing, somebody says, "Hey, this is why you should have come here."
Yeah, but it won't be that serious. I don't think. But Thursday we'll be getting serious because 2 days from the first round of college football playoff, when we come back and join you here on Thursday. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Swain Events fueled by Daddy and Barbecue. Man, I've seen a coyote walking around the neighborhood, raccoons, squirrels thinking they running the show. If you are having issues with wildlife in your home or outside your home, call Alpha Wildlife. I've used them. Big time Tennessee fans. They have locations in Knoxville, Chattanooga, Memphis, Nashville, Carolinas. Go to their website. You don't want the situation to get worse. That is alphawildlife.com is the website. Find the nearest location to you and give them a shout. Ben McKee, see you on Thursday. Hope you feel better, my friend. Hope the family feels better. We'll do it again here in a couple of hours. Peace and love. We are out. Swain Event, fueled by Daddy and Barbecue.